Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Honorable Rajya Raksha Mantri, Dr. Bhamre, the Chief of the Army Staff, General Bipin Rawat, Dr. Sanjay Baru, Shri Baba Kalyani, Shri J.D. Patil, Vivek, very distinguished members of the audience. Allow me to begin by complimenting the FICCI and Defense Aviation Post in collaboration with the Indian Army to put together this series of seminars meant to collate solutions to the problem statements that were released in 2 volumes, Volume 1 by the Raksha Mantri on 5th December 2016 and Volume 2 by the Chief on 24th March this year. Vivek spoke about it, Shri Baba Kalyani also spoke about it. Well, this was the outcome of an extensive outreach. For the first time, the user had got out to share the modernization requirements of the Army with the industry. For the first time, the user had gone out and challenged the academia to find solutions to what were Army's problems and what they required in the future. So it's indeed a great feeling, really, to see the initiative now progressing the way it is. I think all of us would recall the Honorable Prime Minister's speech on Independence Day 2014, when he had said from the ramparts of the Red Fort that we have steel, we have diamonds, we have discipline, and we have the resolve. So come, make in India. And amongst the range of products that we spoke about, you could not have missed submarine se leke satellite tak, come, make in India. In essence, what he was saying is the tremendous opportunity that exists from the subsurface to the outer space in this domain of defense and aerospace. In order to realize that vision, one, of course, are these, short-term measures like the series of seminars that we are doing now. Quite clearly, we have to be thinking of day after tomorrow and getting into the long term. So my submission, ladies and gentlemen, is it is time that as a nation, we start engaging in what I would call defense industrial planning. By that, what I mean, here is a user, and he has certain technological requirements of the future. Incidentally, if you look at the Volume 1 of the Compendium of Problem Statements, in Part 1, that is exactly what was put over there, future technological requirements of the Army. So there is this future technological requirement, and then there are the numbers that are required by the user. From the ministry point of view, there is a requirement of competition, and there is a requirement for fair play. And from the industry's point of view, they want to know what the numbers are and what the specs are. In order to be sure that the numbers are enough for the competition to be sustainable, because if the numbers come down, obviously we can't have industries competing for the numbers. And if the numbers are more, the industry has to build up capability for that. Now, to put this entire thing together in what I called the defense industrial planning, somebody has to take it on. And I'm convinced that it would be unfair to expect the government to do it, because if the government were to do it, it can get, drawn into multiple complications. So this is typically something, to my mind, which is in the domain of industry associations, industry society, engaging thought leaders, both from the technological world, engaging thought leaders, both from the operational world, put it all down together, and that is exactly what would guide the future of the defense industry if you have to actually unfold and move ahead on the lines on which the vision that was articulated by the Prime Minister. Having said that, even in the medium term or immediate, if you will, there are several very forward-looking policy provisions that were built in the last 2 to 3 years. I mean, take, for example, the IDDM. I understand that pending the issue of the SOP for claiming and verifying indigenous content, this has not yet been utilized by any private industry. Likewise, if you see the Make 2, which is primarily industry funded, meant for simpler systems, Definitely the pace can be a lot more in order to get it. If you see the FDI policy, for example, it has been liberalized, we all know about it. But what is the outcome of the liberalization? In 2014-15, it was $78,000. 15-16, $95,000. In all of 2016-17, it was just $1,000. So somewhere, something has to be done to realize the policy intent which has been given out so well. I mean, I can go on and on. All of us dealing with the subject, me in the past, you in the present, are quite aware that till now, nobody has utilized the provision of the enhanced performance parameters. Nobody has utilized essential parameters A and B. Nobody has utilized the enlarged scope of the fast-track procedure, for example. Clearly, there is a lot of policy provision built in which is not being utilized or which is being underutilized. Even if you were to take a look at from the R&D perspective in the last 2 to 3 years particularly, from the Army's point of view, the extended range Pinaka, ATACS, Baba Kalyani spoke about, the VAP, the NAG ATGM, the Bharani weapon locating radar, a whole lot of success stories in R&D by our own DRDO in conjunction with the academia. I think it is time that all this R&D success is translated into products or solutions that can be put into the capital procurement and given to the user, which is actually craving for this kind of modernization. Having said that, I think this exercise to collate the solutions to problem statements is a great one because all of us know how rapidly we turn over appointments. So in order to be sure that we don't lose these solutions in transit and turnover, and there are some brilliant solutions, you'll be exposed to some of them as we go along through the day, I think it's a damn good initiative to take it forward and to be sure that we have a streamlined method of identifying projects for the Army Technology Board Fund projects. We have streamlined methods for sponsoring projects for TDF, which is run by DRDO and Geeta, as you know. And of course, if they are closer to a prototype, they can clearly go into the Make 2. So having said that, I once again compliment the organizers for this event and wish the event a great success. And as I always conclude, it is my firm conviction, if the user, academia, and industry come together, there is no way by which we will not shed this tag of being the largest importer of arms in the world, and we will move on to win India's wars with Indian solutions. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.